We all sinners here.
Standing, I ain't desert myself. This a result when you exert yourself. Help me, that's what I asked these niggas. They out of gas, I drove past these niggas. Leave me the fuck alone, my nigga. I'm doing shows from my home, my nigga. What? Couple weeks off, but I'm back. I've been in and out of state. Dealer place, bitches paper on me. On me. DTB, I came up on housing and EBT. Nigga, stop it.
Bitch, we back to another episode of Real Recognize Real, where real motherfuckers like myself sit down with real motherfuckers like this to discuss film, TV, and all the good shit. But today, I'm here with the film enjoyer and the horror enthusiast, Lakyra.
Lakyra Clarke.
Oh, my.
And last.
Lakyra Clarke. Yeah! Right,
Thanks for having me.
For real, Seth, put some respect on my shit. I know that's right. I know that's right. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oof. I guess if we're talking about in relation to film, I would say my area of expertise is horror.
Okay.
I think that comes from a family that is a horror family, so I kind of didn't have a choice in that. It was something that it's like, if a movie is on, it's most likely a scary one.
Thanks.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just someone that likes to watch things that makes them think and feel something different.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's how...
Different in like what way?
I would say different in the way of us. I'm a thrill seeker.
Gotcha.
In the sense of film. I don't go into it where I feel like I want to cry. I don't like crying in a movie.
Yeah.
I can laugh in a movie, but I don't like going into something that would be considered sappy. I want something that makes me jump, gets my heart racing.
Yeah, for real. Okay, you're definitely adrenaline junkie.
Just in that way.
For real.
Just
Thrill seeker. Okay, cool. And then why was it horror for y'all?
I think it's that is the reason.
Yeah.
I think it was just something where we didn't want to watch something that was predictable. Mm-hmm. I think it was something where you could be scared and it was like leading into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was probably why.
Yeah, that's real. A lot of people, and especially like black people, they don't even mess with horror. They like, either extra Christian or extra like religious. They're like, oh, I don't mess with them ghosts. Mm-hmm. I don't mess with demons. Mm-hmm. God got me, but I ain't gonna, mess with none of that. Mm-hmm. And then like some of the stuff's just like, it's just not scary. Like Halloween, it's like, it's more classic than scary. Other stuff like that versus like, I don't know. What are some scary movies that you kind of like?
So I want to say to like your point where it's like the religious aspect.
Yeah.
I feel like, no, that was still very prevalent.
Yeah.
Certain movies were with certain sides of my family.
Yeah.
So if it's like a monster movie,
okay,
I would more likely watch that one side. Versus if it's like demon and possession, that's another side. Yeah. So it's like, it's towing the line. But I think that movies I recommend, is that what you're touching on?
I mean, just ones that you kind of like, growing up on the horror series.
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of like horror films. So
yeah, I would say there's so many. Yeah. I feel like, okay, what first came to mind was Carrie by Stephen King. Not the remake, the original one.
1972.
Exactly, yeah. Not the second one. That first one.
Yeah.
I would recommend Carrie. That was my introduction to Stephen King.
Got you.
And I love Stephen King. So I would recommend Carrie. I would say The Hills Have Eyes. The remake of that, though.
Okay.
That one's
I haven't seen the remake. I saw the original. My sister also loves horror films. So like anything from like, she used to love The Hills Have Eyes, Jeepers Creepers 2, Paranormal Activity, like anything like we would just like love watching. So
okay, yep, those are also two good ones. Yeah, so I think the soundtrack for The Hills Have Eyes too. That's the only movie I would say, like one of two, that actually like scared me.
Okay.
That I could like that's
Yeah.
one that I actually had to turn off.
Yeah.
And then like revisit. And I still say to this day, just because of like how they did the soundtrack for it and scored it,
Yeah.
I still like get goosebumps like watching it. But so I would recommend those two.
Yeah. I could just imagine. I remember just like I think I was like 10 or something when it came out, and just like you just feel like you're really in it. And it's like it's one of those that like it's kind of realistic, and it's just like I could see this happening to myself, and it's one of those where you talk to the screen, you're like, oh, don't do that, don't do that. So like, hey, I love that one.
Yeah, okay. So I would have those two, and then I would say I would recommend, if I'm saying a third one, that makes it hard. I would say The Grudge.
Ooh,
but
Grudge.
The original one before they remade it here.
Oh, okay. Who made it first?
I think it was made over in Asia first, and then
I was gonna say it's either Japan or Korea.
I don't remember which.
Yeah,
I don't remember which.
But yeah, it was definitely an Asian country.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would recommend that one, and it's not necessarily scary outright, and it's like slower pace, but it does have a lot of creepy imagery.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It's leading into that. I like that a lot. I feel like I could go on and on.
The color grade on The Grudge is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
I'll leave it to 3. Otherwise, I'll end up going on and on.
All those are classic, and especially Stephen King. He's been like notorious in that horror series, and like one of your favorites, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, what about Stephen King do you like?
Ooh, I think that it's the variety in types of horror, but I also like the variety in how he writes. It doesn't all have to be horror. Like you have Stand By Me, you have The Green Mile. Like it's not like scary things outright, but I like how he leans into good storytelling regardless. And I think that, like, if you look at even his books, like a good chunk of them go on and on because it's such a layered level of storytelling. And I think that's like what I love about him. I think that if we're tying it back to like horror specifically, it's very imaginative. Like you have Carrie, but then you also have It, but then you also have Firestarter, and those are all different.
Very different. Yeah, that's dope. And I know that like Jordan Peele, that's one of his like inspirations. And early on, you're not seeing a lot of Black representation in horror and stuff like that. So, and we know Jordan Peele is just like basically flipped the whole horror series and like created a whole subgenre of horror off the Black experience. And between Get Out, between Us, Nope, his horror series is just like crazy. He's got a crazy catalog. Just literally original, just well thought out. The soundtracks, everything relating kind of back to our culture and stuff. So it's like super dope to see that kind of like revelation we were talking about. It's like a renaissance of not only Black film, but like Black horror film. And, you know, between that and fucking Ryan Coogler, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I know. Yeah. So I'll let you have the floor. You know, what are your thoughts about Jordan Peele and this whole new renaissance of Black horror films?
Okay. I think when it comes to answer the first part, Jordan Peele, I would say I love what he's doing, and I love that he's taking concepts that are sources of real life horror and taking a spin on it in a more creative way. I think that what makes it work is the fact that it could be based in reality.
Yeah.
Like obviously there are parts where there is fantasy. Like if we're talking about Nope, there's the alien aspect. Or if we're talking about Get Out, it's like, oh, body swapping and things like that. But like the part where there's the baseline of reality, I think that's why it works, because people relate to those aspects of experience directly. Yeah. So I think that's why I enjoy his film so much.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a little bit why like we as a people like really enjoy it, because like we were talking about like the monsters and shit, like that's not really that scary, but then like you really find a baseline for like horror set in reality, and you're like, damn, like I experienced that, and like you actually feel a little uncomfortable watching some of these scenes. It's like, you know, he grew up with his white mom and stuff in like these kind of suburban areas, so you really feel that like Afro surrealism, that like, you know, other people are like up to something, or like they out to get you, or something else like that, where it's just like we all live in this world and speak another language and stuff. But,
yeah, and I think that also what is the connector or the relatability aspect of it is it's what happens when the black people win. So like that's double-sided. Like in horror, like the black person always dies first. Like that's the trope. So it's not like black people dying first. So black people win in that way.
Come on now.
But also it's the other part of it where if you're looking at it from these real life scenarios, it's black people winning. So like if you're looking at it from
go ahead, cook. Go ahead.
Message.
Like black people defeat whatever that oppressor is.
Yeah.
And that's not something that we oftentimes get to experience in real life. So like in scenes like Get Out, I believe it's like the introduction of like police briefly. We're like, oh no, like is it gonna end in this kind of way? But it's like, no, this is actually you're being saved. Like this is a positive ending to the movie. So I think that it's double-sided relatability for black people or looking at it through the black lens. But when you're to go back to your original question of what I think about this black horror renaissance, I love it. I'm having a great time. I feel like it's a great time. I feel like I told you this before, but I feel like it's a great time to be black and consuming like entertainment right now. Like I'm having a great time like watching and processing and consuming. It's just I love it. I hope it continues indefinitely.
For real.
Yeah. And it stays where people want to engage with it in the same way. Where there's that same level of excitement. It's not just, oh, it's just another movie. Like I want there to be that level of engagement and care and money put towards and like all the funding. Like I want that to like continue and be consistent as well.
Ryan Coogler's new movie, Sinners, absolutely fucking brilliant. Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther, definitely showcased his ability as a director and just kind of how he highlights black people, the black experience, and he always does a bunch of research, and just ultimately he has intentionality behind his film and his craft. And again, it was showcased Fruitvale Station, especially Black Panther. That's just incredible. Just the way he kind of immerses these worlds and kind of puts it together, because we all felt like we was in Black Panther. You know, we all felt like we was going to Wakanda. So to see what he does with Sinners, which is, it's incredible. It's a black gothic horror film based in 1930s Mississippi. Stacking Smoke, two twins played by Michael B. Jordan. They said it was played by Michael B. Jordan and Michael C. Jordan. So we got both the Michael Jordans in there. And yeah, it was just one of them ones for real. Like original. It's been going crazy at the box office still. Yeah, I mean, we needed it for real.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you want to know my thoughts on it?
Yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on it.
Do you want to know my critiques first or positive things?
Hey.
Fewer critiques.
Hey, any way you like to go with it.
Okay, I'll start with my critiques.
She hated that shit.
Hated it.
My main critique is I feel like it was a rushed story. I feel like there was so much history that was obvious between characters, and I feel like I wish that we would have been able to learn a little bit more.
Yeah. Because
I feel like we were thrown into their world.
Literally.
Instead of being brought in already a part of it. So like I feel like it's like when it's like pulling up halfway into someone telling a story.
Yeah.
And there are already relationships established, or like you joining a friend group that's they've been together since they were like in elementary, and you pull up in like 9th grade.
No, for real.
So, I feel like I would have liked to know more about the characters, but I feel like that does allow for opportunity to tell that story.
Yeah.
Like if you want to think around like a prequel, for instance. So.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's like you spend so much time like establishing these characters, the world, you know, between the Asians who own the stores, the hot tamale stand, Stack Smoke, Annie, Sammy, the whole church aspect. So you literally immerse in this whole world, and then it's just like turns into something else. But it's like, it's cool because like we were all expecting horror because like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like you did such a beautiful job of like getting us so immersed in this world, and it's kind of just like a feel good like Southern comfort kind of movie. We were talking about, it's kind of like soul food a little bit, where it's just like, you know, it feels good and stuff. It's down home and like, yeah. Then they had to remind us like, yeah, it's a vampire movie. You know, so like we didn't even get that till like really like the juke joint situation. Like I remember like the opening scene with Sammy. He opens the church door because the show's like the day afterwards. Yeah, so he walks in there and basically we just get like a little flash of the Irishman, and that's like, okay, cool. Like it's gonna be a horror film, but like that's the only indication that we get that like it's really gonna take a turn. But other than that, it's just like, damn, like if y'all wanted to give us just like a Southern comfort movie, y'all could have did that. But yeah, so like you said, I just wanted a little bit more of that.
I feel like the plot shoots itself in the foot by making it the day before. Like I feel like I get it, like you know, with Stack and Smoke coming back in town, it was like literally that quick. But I feel like if we had broadened the timeline a bit, we could have fleshed it out a bit more instead of like, okay, we're gonna build everything out, these characters, and then tonight we're gonna party, and then also it's gonna go left. Like I feel like that's where it felt.
So you're saying like lead up a couple days beforehand?
Yeah. Because then that way, like we could have had like a little bit more time to like establish stories instead of being like, okay, tonight we're opening up this juke joint and we're gonna have a party. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like we could have like spaced it out a bit more.
Yeah.
So then we didn't just jump into that scene that night.
Yeah.
And like all of like the driving plot.
Yeah.
So I think that's my main critique. But I have so many good things to say about it.
Yeah, literally.
So I think that the first initial thing that stood out to me, and it's something that we were talking about, is that connection to it being based in Mississippi.
We're both from Greenville, y'all. Shout out Greenville, Mississippi, 662. Stand the fuck up in this bitch.
So we both have that connection to Mississippi directly, and it was, you know, the little subtle details with set design, like we were talking about, like a tamale stand, or like adding the cultural context of like having Chinese there, emphasizing the fact that like the people are sharecroppers, and then pinpointing the era it is. It's just those subtle details that felt comforting. Like from my personal viewing, I'm like, okay, this feels like family. I loved so many things about it. I feel like I loved the way in which we look at community. I think I love the way in which we look at music and how important it is and how soulful it is, and that connection. Blue specifically being looked at as it being connected to this like evil thing, but it was really like this unifier that connects you to your roots, your history, the past, present, and future.
Literally.
So I really loved the symbolism and the connection in that. Also, just like the soundtrack throughout, the way they played with sound was amazing, especially in the scene where Delroy Lindo, loved the way in which they incorporated sound in that scene where he's telling the story and you're hearing what's happening, but you don't have to see what's happening. I really liked how they like layered the sound in that, and it made it such an immersive experience without having to see it. It's like, okay, we're gonna walk you through this. Imagine what's happening, because that's enough.
For real.
I like that they also did continue at that point. They didn't make it about
trauma. I was just about to say that.
Like,
I hate that shit.
The horror literally was the horror. Like, it's the supernatural thing. We're aware, like, okay, like, we are in the deep south, but we don't have to make every deep south story.
We know that
traumatic.
There's racism. We know about the lynchings. We know about the hangings. You know, what is this? Maybe 20 years before Emmett Till, stuff like that. So just like, we already know like the history and everything else beforehand. So it's like you said, we don't have to get into that. Like, the only, you know, white people that were really in there that were, you know, were the Klans member. They were already kind of like off doing their own thing.
Yeah, so. And it was that intro scene. Well, that first introduction, I should say, rather, was brief. It's like, oh, I'm selling you this property. I have questions about the like Stack and Smoke being like inquisitive and having questions about this property. Like, what was this really?
Yeah.
But then it's there and gone.
Yeah.
Or then the next scene we have, as far as even introduction to the clan being prevalent, is seeing the suit in the cabin, but then we don't see actual like racism in it as far as like that direct threat until the end, and even then Black will still win.
Right, exactly.
So it's like I really liked that it was a horror movie that was a horror movie.
Right.
Like, it's obviously more layered and nuanced than that, but that the horror wasn't the real thing.
Yeah.
Outright as that threat in the movie. So I really liked that.
And to kind of go off that point, it's kind of like one of the things that I liked but also didn't like, that like the story was so strong it felt almost cliche to be like, oh, there's vampires coming to take it away, but then even the vampires, like, you know, are multifaceted. Vampires still have a little bit of consciousness in them. So like that part of him is just like, he's still an Irishman, like he's like looking for culture, he's looking for home and stuff like that. So like when he hears Sammy, like the way he's able to bring culture, where he's like, oh yeah.
I feel like it was yes, there's the community layer, but like also, oh, I was oppressed, we were all oppressed, we have shared trauma, but it's not the same.
Yeah. He couldn't see like what do we call it now, that just being culture blind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't see like his whiteness being like like really like taken away from their culture, and just like, no, like this is our space, and
not being aware of like the privilege.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, it's the idea of a common enemy, but not realizing the nuance of how should I say, trauma, like how layered trauma is, and trauma that is experienced by specific demographics, even if it has the same oppressor, isn't expressed the same way. So I feel like there was that disconnect in that way, which also ties into like how other characters, definitely now. But also like how it worked for other, like how that idea operated differently for other characters. Like you have Chinese characters that also experience oppression as well, and they're towing that line as an in between, but that trauma wasn't expressed and shared in that same way, where we see like how that manifests as well. So that's
really, I didn't mean to like take us off on that tangent.
No, it's fine.
But you were talking about other things that you liked about the film.
Yes, so many things. I mentioned I love the set design and that personal connection. I loved the soundtrack. I've also listened to the official playlist separately.
Okay. I listened to the whole soundtrack. Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah.
So
it's really good. It's very soulful, and I really liked that there was so much intentionality behind how the movie was scored.
Yeah. Ryan Coogler was saying, I'm gonna mess up the dude's name, so I ain't gonna say it, but the composer, man.
Yeah. I don't know how to say his last name. Yeah, we're talking about
okay, cool. But he's worked with him on a few different things, Fruitvale Station, and this one too. He was kind of just like blowing up out of nowhere, and he did like a score for Community, the TV show. So I forget exactly what he was doing before, but he was like an assistant on something, and then the person who was like his director was like, I'm too busy, like give this to my assistant, he's cold. And it was Community, and one of the main people on there was Don Glover.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yo,
they've worked together many times.
Yeah, literally. And he was like, yo, I'll be acting, but like I'll also be doing music, so if you ever want to fuck me on music, then like come compose for me. And from there, like they started like really getting big. So between that and Ryan Coogler's uncle, like just being like from the South and having basically to like escape from Mississippi, and like just where he settled in Oakland, he was a big like Delta blues fan too. So like they both like have like rich history and behind the Delta blues. So like I think that's why you're hearing the soundtrack like that too, because like between his love of music and like his passion for his family and music, it's like it just seems very intentional and like very passionate. So.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Like, that adds a lot of context as well. Because, the soundtrack is great. And you can tell, like, there was a lot of attention to detail with that. I feel like there's just so many things I love about the movie. I love the character interactions. I love all the interpretations. Like, I feel like I could just go on. Where do you want to start?
Themes?
Themes. Okay. Which one do I want to talk about first? Themes between characters and like how race comes into play. I think that it's interesting having the characters there because, yes, there are Chinese that are in Mississippi, and that's a layered history.
I never knew that.
Really?
I never knew that.
Really? Okay.
Literally until that, I'm like, oh, she came with a thick Southern accent.
Yeah.
I guess there's another like kind of documentary,
Yeah.
like documenting
Yeah.
that, but yeah, I was out the loop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there is an established history there. I think what's interesting in it is being a person of color in a space where there isn't a distinct side you belong to. Like, you are oppressed, but you also have the opportunity for
Oppressed with a privilege.
yes, exactly, but not too much privilege.
Right,
So
literally.
you have like just enough to like put you in a position where you feel like you're doing better, but
For
it's
real.
still very much like you're oppressed and you're in community with the oppressed
For
group,
real.
primary oppressed
Bro,
group.
you ain't white, but you ain't niggas, so like.
Exactly. So I feel, but what was interesting in that is it's like you could tell like there's an established history with Smoke coming in and like immediately hopping into negotiations
Yeah.
and like, okay, what are you getting us into this time?
Yeah,
And he came in talking money and they were like, yes.
yeah.
And so, you know, it seemed like, you know, there's history there, they're cool, they're friends, whatever, and then, you know, we go into like the night they're having at the juke joint.
Mhm.
And so we're thinking like, okay, they're tight, like they're really close. And then things go left.
Facts.
And so as soon as things go left, where it's like it's not something where it's like, okay, we can benefit off of this, it's like, all right, it's time to head out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where that lack of solidarity comes in at.
Yeah.
Where as long as I'm in a position to benefit off of you, make money off of you, we're having a good time, we're fine. But as soon as things go left, I'm different from you. We're drawing the line. I'm headed out, actually. I didn't sign up. Literally saying in the we didn't sign up for all of this.
One foot in, one foot out of the culture.
Yes.
It's like everybody want to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga.
Exactly. And so it's like tricky in towing that line where it comes to like, you know, it's clear the Black people were ready to like defend with their lives. I mean, literally.
That is our sanctuary. That is our safe space. That like juke joint is like, it represents Black joy, Black fucking resilience, represents pride, and it's just like, she's just like, yeah, I'm just here for some money. Like, this ain't what we signed up for.
And so it's like welcoming people into spaces where it's like, okay, like you've shown, like I can rely on you and things like that, and that trust. But then as soon as things go left and you were already welcome into the space, oh, it's not to your benefit anymore. Okay, I'm gonna head out. And then I'm gonna lead to your demise too.
Yeah.
As it continues. Okay, you're not benefiting me anymore. I'm gonna head out. But then
I'm also gonna fuck your shit up on the way out.
Yeah. As
Because,
soon as you're not doing what I want you to do to benefit me and you're not listening to me.
And also, the moment it affects me, it starts to affect me. Oh yeah,
You're going down. With me. Yeah, you're immediately going down.
I'm taking us with us.
So, I think that it's showing the lack of true solidarity in that way. I think that even you see in real life that Black people show up to all of the protests, all of the rallies, all of the issues for all marginalized groups. But then that reciprocation is not always there.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask Black people to show up. Black people they're already there.
Because we know what it's like.
Exactly.
We don't want other people to go through that.
Exactly. But when it's time to show up in that same way, this is an example while in a film it manifests in real life that it's not reciprocated. It's not done the same way. That's what I think about character interactions and themes in that way when it comes to the Chows. Now, when it comes to Mary, I feel like that's very layered. Now, I think the first...
Damn it, Mary. Damn it, Mary.
The first part of it was like...
She's telling me I'm Black too.
But when you are directly asked, what are you? You don't say, I'm Black. You say, my mom's dad was half Black. Like, you're tracing us to add validity to what you are, which if you have to trace it in that way, shouldn't we question it?
Exactly. Like, you don't just say I'm Black and just like own it. You gotta say, oh well, I'm like.
It's like showing how you're supposed to be. Like,
Right.
you're leading with your
I am,
credentials.
but not.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like your credentials. And it's like, that's the side eye. But, so, it's like, are you black? If you're black, why don't you say you're black?
Right, for real.
So, I feel like it's layered in that way. So, we have that being problematic language. We have her literally ruining the party, and you're letting anyone into the spaces again. You ruin it.
And one thing that was like that I kind of missed, but like I caught again after like doing some analysis and stuff. Every time she is like in those spaces and stuff, she's wearing something drastically different than like the color scheme, whether that's the material or like the actual color and stuff like that. Because I forget, she's wearing like wool at like the train station and stuff like that, and
I think she's wearing silk.
Yep.
At the party, but I think that that's also an indicator of class.
Exactly.
Because that's like, those are expensive materials.
Exactly. So it's like between those two things, she's like, oh yeah, I'm black. Oh, I'm black, or like Tracy. But it's just like, you say this, but like to be black, you can't just say. There's other things that indicate it. We was talking about this. Like maybe there should be some type of like questionnaire or survey or something like that. But like, you saying you black but showing up like this, it don't look like you're in the struggle with us. It's like it look like you black when it's convenient, and we want to be like in this circle, but like.
And I think that it's interesting because it's literally how welcomed people are in black spaces, and it was quite literally a black space. The juke joint was a black space, and so it's like, okay, you are cool with us, and then seeing, okay, but you being cool with us led to it being our demise and costing us. So it's like, you welcomed in Mary. She's black enough. I can pinpoint when she's black. She's black like us, but then she's not black like us. And as soon as she came in, it went left.
Not black like us when it counts, where it's like, we need you to put the culture first. And like, when we already decided that like, hey, this juke joint, or like, it might be a wash because, you know, we are serving our people and they have sharecrop coins and not actual money. She's thinking like, oh, well, I can get y'all some money and stuff like this. And like, if that really is the case, and you know she is wealthy and stuff, it's just like, why can't you help?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's just like that ability to help her, like to not help when you have, you know, like people like, oh, like I'm gonna get y'all help and stuff like this. It's like, yo, nigga, I'm looking at you, help us. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm gonna find somebody to help y'all, and then like, again, you bring in other people that like don't think like us or whatever, and they literally try to take the culture.
And I think that you know, the way in which she exercised her privilege, and it was demanding. She felt entitled to this, but she was literally told to leave over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
But she was like, no, I'm going to be here. And I feel like it's the entitlement.
Oh, yeah.
Had she left, then she wouldn't have tried to make it seem like she was like being helpful and trying to get them money and then eventually getting bitten. Had she left, someone else probably would have gotten bitten. That would have been a different story. We have to operate from what the story actually is. So it's like, I'm forcing my way in here, even though you're telling me you don't want me here, and then I'm going to give the illusion of being an asset, even though I'm doing more harm than good. So it's like, her as a kid, and then even still, she forced her way, even when it came to like, stop being like, I don't want you. She made it so that she took away his ability to even like do what he wanted to do. Like, she took away his autonomy.
She hit one of the classic lines. She said,
so you rob trains and banks, but you can't steal this pussy for a night.
Like, what, ma'am? Like, I'm at a juke joint for the people. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like, it's literally not about
you're not supposed to be at home with your husband, and we asked you to leave multiple times, and
it's like, I'm here trying to launch something. It's opening night for a business with me and my brother. It's not about you right now. Literally. And you're also not
It is about the black community. You making it about yourself.
Yes.
Message!
Like, you came not offering any assistance. And then you created a problem and then gave the illusion of helping, which I think is a theme that happens a lot, where it's like creating a problem yourself and then making it seem like you're the savior. And then before you, like, that person that is impacted by it, you're like, oh, actually you did help me, even though you were the original one that like caused it.
Right.
So that's what her character did the whole time. And then
that playing the victim.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But like, even still, like, Stack is like stuck with her forever unless he decides to no longer like exist. And like, he doesn't, his family is gone. His brother, who was his everything, is gone. He was not given the right to even like become a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was his choice. Granted, like a lot of them, it wasn't their choice, but like you came in and went straight to him.
Yeah.
And then you were like,
targeted them. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is what I'm doing, so you're gonna join that automatically. Mm-hmm. And it's also shown like, you know, I feel like you can say, oh, they were under the influence of what is it, the Remick? Is that how you say it?
Sure.
Remick.
The Remy.
The
only Remy.
But well, you could argue, they were under the control of him.
Yeah. Because
the other vampires are seen as like being under his control too, but it's like, no, we're clearly shown after the fact.
Remick. Yeah.
Remick. Okay.
Yeah.
We're shown after the fact that they had autonomy.
Yeah.
Because they escaped. Everyone else was following him. So I'm like, you did that on your own. Like, you wanted to do that. It wasn't like how, like, Cornbread was when he was trying to, like, have everybody come out.
Yeah.
It was like, no, you have enough of whatever in you to, like, move how you want.
And we talked about we need to be gatekeeping more. That was kind of like the downfall of the juke joint. Because, like, if they really had their own to start with and had others who had their own, then it would have been less that they had to recoup. And just like a universal type of buy-in, because that was like the thing with the Asian couple that like they did have to pay for the, you know, I mean, respectfully, we gonna pay, you know, our people regardless, but like we doing it for us, all right, like we don't, but like they were like set on like, yo, you gotta pay for this, like they already own the grocery store and they own the restaurant, so it's like y'all really could have helped out more, but like y'all chose not to, but. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna continue going into the theme of the juke joint.
Yeah.
Where, you know, the vampires were literally told, "There's a white space for you," but they're like, "No, we want what is yours." And I feel like, you know, when it came down to the successful demise, it was like you removed the people from the source. So like, you had the juke joint. That was the black space. There was the ownership in there.
Yeah. And
then you slowly picked off all the black people and they joined what was considered that better way of existing, which is basically code for like assimilation.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it sucked the soul out one by one until there was nothing left, and then they were a part of what was supposed to be right, and it's creating this new thing as if what was already existing wasn't good enough.
Right.
The attempted extraction of culture.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying that what I have going on is better. And so although, like, you know, our main antagonist isn't outright racist, in that, like, you know, he's like, we have a common enemy. It's still white people, like white people.
Right.
It's still like doing what white people do. Okay, we're gonna walk away slowly. Yeah. We're gonna be nice. Okay, we hear you. But then we're gonna take your people. Oh, we have somebody. We're gonna take the one person that first we thought could be swayed, and it was Mary first. Okay. Oh, okay. She's gonna ruin the party. But then it's like, okay, now we got Cornbread.
Yeah.
Okay, now the party's over. Now we're gonna take everyone. It's like slowly extracting the resources until you have nothing.
And that's what I was gonna say too. And they use the things that we think are resources because, you know, when the music and stuff didn't work, they're like, yo, we got plenty of money. You know, we know y'all need money. You know, stuff like that. And they was just like, damn, like you got, and you know, that's one of the things that, like, again, this, and I'll get into it with Cornbread too because he low-key my favorite. I decided.
Yeah.
But like. They hung around because they knew we would need some of them resources, you know, because, like, if they was like, no, we all good, whatever, like, but even, like, yeah, they did want the culture and stuff like that, but also it's just, like, they knew to hang around and to keep hanging around because as soon as she came out there, it's like, I already kind of knew what was up and stuff, and, yeah, it's just, then they started taking our resources,
Well, it's like, what do you do when you can't, for them, I feel like it was like, what do you do when you can't have that immediate buy-in? And it's like, okay, like, I'm trying to buy you out, I'm trying to do some, this, that, and the third, and it's like, okay, you don't need it. What's the easiest way to bring you down and take what I want? It's to turn the people against you.
Yeah.
So it's like.
The other allies.
Exactly. Like,
the
you know. Exactly. So you're gonna, like, shake up everything that they have going on, and you're gonna create division within an existing community, which that's symbolically because they were literally turning people.
Literally.
But you know, you're going to create that division, and then that's how it's dividing and conquering. essentially. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, I think that's the ultimate plan of, historic plan of dismantling black people is to disorganize them, confuse them, and then, basically turn them against each other.
And then come through and sweep and take everything that's left because they're distracted.
Literally.
So, you're not paying attention to the thing that you were originally trying to protect. Oh, it's fine now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that, it was towing the line between like literal and symbolic meaning when it comes to the juke joint, but that main takeaway is like community and ownership and like how that can be broken down.
Yeah, I was gonna speak on like the assimilation a little bit because like the vampires, I was like, okay, cool, like we love vampires, and Remick especially. I was reading a little bit on like hoodoo and stuff like that.
I was gonna talk about that next.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's.
I was gonna say, let you finish your point. I interjected.
So yeah, I mean, there's just so many thoughts for real. Because it's literally like you said, so nuanced, so many different layers. It's a fucking great movie. And regardless of like the critiques, the biggest thing about great movies is that it has you thinking and it has you talking about it, and that's like the overall thing. But anyway, yeah. So I think I'm just gonna back up from Remick. He is literally like a fallen angel. The first time we see Remick, he is falling out of the sky like Satan, you know, fallen angel situation, and he's trying to like get people on his side. So he's getting these people on his side. It's like with so a lot of people. Okay, cool. We got he's the devil part. Cool. Which is why like when Sammy is like reciting the Lord's Prayer, he's like, oh yeah, I know that shit too. Like, what's up? But ultimately the hoodoo and the spirituality being the thing to like save Smoke and just like basically save Sammy too, because he was kind of the part of the situation. His spirituality was a little bit different, but it connected him to the ancestors and everything else like that. But one thing I was going to mention specifically, because we were talking about the Irish jig and stuff, that so I'm trying to cook here, right? Okay. So I was reading a little bit, right?
Okay.
So one of the things about hoodoo is that okay, so there's a way to link the new world to the old, right? So part of it, so they're saying is 8 common and essential components that you need. Each component is different by the culture, but it's basically the same thing. Counterclockwise sacred circle dancing. And they literally were like, when he was doing his jig and stuff like that, they were doing the circle dance. It was a little bit different in the juke joint because like we were doing our own thing, but like when he's trying to establish his link to his culture, like counterclockwise circle dancing, that's a big one. Spirit possession, like come on now. The principle of sacrifice, he's like, all I want is Sammy. Ritual water immersion, like the way in the water. I'm like, yo, divination, yep. The practice of seeking knowledge of future or unknown by supernatural means.
Okay.
So fortune telling, divining, forecasting the future. I guess that's a little bit in there. I can't specifically recall.
One more time. What is it by definition?
The practice of seeking knowledge of the future
or the unknown by supernatural means. That's literally but that it was seeking knowledge through supernatural means. That's what Sammy was doing.
Yeah.
So that's what he wanted to take from him. He wanted that ancestral connection, but that was through supernatural means.
Okay.
But also, that's what Annie does. Like, it's connection through supernatural means, and it's, in her instance, it's providing protection, but she's also like giving knowledge as well.
Exactly, and passing that on to her people, and like keeping them safe, which, was literally what saved Smoke. Yeah.
He was actually like wearing protection, but she said that she was putting out protection for both of them.
Number 6 was ancestor reverence. 7 is belief in a spiritual cause of.
I don't know what that means.
Milady, and herbal and natural.
That was like what Annie was doing in her shop when
Yep.
Smoke came.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Things that that Annie was doing specifically to keep connected to the culture and keep hoodoo alive is some of the things that he was using, like some of the same elements to like rip the culture and stuff, but like, you know, it just wasn't good. Basically, he couldn't steal it because it was, we always say this, it's like our vision through somebody else's lens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it wasn't his culture to take, so he could never like fully.
It's an imitation.
Exactly.
So it doesn't have the soul. It doesn't have the source there.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So I thought that was like cool because I was like, yo, he definitely tried a couple of those things when he was trying to like basically like connect his new world to the old world, because he was talking again like the Irish people that had went through so much and like trying to connect. Fuck. I swear, I'm like, bro, we black over here. That's exactly why you can't come in here. We're talking that bullshit. Like,
well, I think it's interesting too how when you're bringing like hoodoo into play and also religion into play too, where it's the spoken versus the unspoken protection, and through connection, it was being practiced by someone who believed in it, who studied it, who had that ancestral connection, and it was an unspoken thing. It was through ritual, and it was something that was effective, but that spoken, disconnected way of protection was the thing that didn't save anyone. So I think that it was like that's that hollow imitation.
Yeah.
That is replicating and taking away the source. In this instance, that's related to Black people. Now I don't want to be all blasphemous.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, you know,
we all sinners here.
But you know, like disreligion of the word or God, because like I'm not doing that.
Right.
Like, but
shout out Jesus.
But I feel like, you know, that importance in that connection is very relevant, and it's still we spoke about this earlier, but it's still something that is heavily ingrained in Black people, but we don't even realize that it's something that we have in practice. I think I gave you the example of putting your purse on the ground. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Don't sweep someone's
Purse on the
feet.
chair.
Yeah. Don't sweep someone's feet. You know, New Year's traditions where you know, Black Eyed Peas and things like that. You know, we are actively practicing these things.
Cinnamon in doorway.
Huh?
Cinnamon in doorway.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but without realizing it. Because there is that disconnect now where it's like, okay, these are just what we do as people. But it's like, we have to acknowledge the root and the source. And it's like, you know, take it back. If we're talking about where Black people were when, you know, Black people were transported from Africa to the South primarily, and that's where a lot of labor was being done. And so it's like a lot of those practices were brought over as well. Black people still, although there was a great migration and, you know, you lost a lot of that, those cultural roots through migration and assimilation, which again, that is shown in Sinners. Those people that were converted into vampires, they lost the soul, they assimilated, they lost that cultural connection.
Yeah.
As we have as Black people, which it's not, it was in search of something better. But, you know, there's still Black people that are in the South that are still tied to those connections, and still tied to that root. So it's like, although we are generations out, we still have the connection of, you're not supposed to do this, that, and the third because of X, Y, Z, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It came from somewhere. There's a reason for it some way, somehow. But and so it's like, I feel like Black people are practicing it without realizing it. Yeah. But they were told that we are told that it is not the right thing to do because of the assimilation, that the word is what is prioritized. Yeah. And it's deemed as more important. But at the end of the day, it's like, culture is there, that existence is there for a reason. Literally. And I feel like there's truth to it for some reason, because I'm not going to be outside. I told you before, I'm not going to be outside whistling at night. I don't want to know what's out there. Not at all. You answer, then what? Not at all.
Yeah, and I think there's the big component of that, because, we have it here, because you were said it earlier, you're saying that religion disconnects and weaponizes. Yep, and I think that was a really big point, because like that same religion that, you know, that, you know, the dad unknowingly is like trying to use to save his son is the same religion the big force on him to like you said, like weaponize and, you know, just keep people submissive and keep preying on hope and stuff like that, and think you have this connection to something when you really don't, you know, it's a facade. And we see it in nowadays with like black church and white church. It's like it's the same word, the same, you know, message, but the A and B selection is completely different, you know, and like that's the soul part of a black church that a lot of people feel.
I think it's just an example of bringing in your roots. I think that when people, because I don't want to like come for organized religion in any capacity. However, we have to acknowledge ways in which it is weaponized and used against you. And I mean, it was quite literally used to oppress an entire demographic of people.
Literally weren't even like taught how to read or anything else, and then also told that like whiteness is pure and blackness is evil. And,
exactly.
Like,
and
being punished.
Exactly. And then when you take it a step further, where it's like, okay, now that we've had it so that organized religion has been introduced to black people and so ingrained, the expression is still even different, where it's like we're still bringing the roots of who we are in how we celebrate and worship.
Exactly.
How music is incorporated, how there is that connection through for lack of a better word, performance, where it's like, you know, you have a choir, you have people on instruments, you have people dancing, you have people really engaging. And to the point where it's like you got people falling out speaking in tongues.
For real.
You're not seeing that
not
in a white church. You're not going to like a white Catholic church and seeing that. It's, you're there for the performance of it, you're there for the word of it, it's hollow.
Right.
You do your time.
I should feel soulless. You don't feel like Jesus in there.
No.
You don't feel like Jesus in there.
You're there, and even it's like, you know, it's always the complaint of like with black church, like you're there all day, but it's like it's the connection of it, it's the experience of it.
Literally.
It's not purely you're there for the like the word, and then you did what you were supposed to do, and then you leave, then you're done. Now you're a good person. It's it's deeper. It's that connection, and that's why I think that is the beauty in how black people celebrate and worship, because it's still at its core tied to the roots in that culture of like music and connection, and how that it's a new way of, it's a different way of congregating. Basically that's just what it comes down to. With how Hoodoo was and in the movie, I think that I liked how it was represented, as it wasn't something that was like evil and scary, and you know, it was practiced by a woman who was a woman that any of us could see. For real. Who had a real
community-led woman. Who's like a real like nurturer, practitioner of.
It's a pillar. Everyone trusts her. You know, and she is a normal black woman in that, like, you find comfort in that. She is a woman that you could see. She could be your aunt. She could be your neighbor. She could, you know, it's not something.
I think about the scene in Eve's Bayou where like she go to the lady with the bass, and it's like, yo, like, that's voodoo. Get away from that shit. Versus like Hoodoo, it's like literally like his kids leaving, and it's a
So I liked that that approach was taken, where it's not this spooky, scary thing and it's inherently evil. It was used as protection coming from a woman that really saved the day, because she told y'all what it was before y'all knew what it was. And told y'all how to defeat it. Literally. Before y'all knew how to defeat it.
And one of the things, like, based off wardrobe and like Hoodoo, I guess the blue that they use is like from indigo. And indigo is like one of those things that like is supposed to have like good properties about it. So the blue that she's wearing is like indigo blue. So.
Well, I feel like that's interesting. Because I haven't done research into costume design.
And smokes also.
I was going to say that. Yep. I think that's interesting.
And that was another thing that I missed, but it was pointed out that like each of them, like they're specifically dressed like an Italian mob and Irish mob. So I thought that was like a cool thing.
Well, I guess that's me flipping a question to you then. Did you see did you see the opposite then with how I guess deeper maroons and reds are represented with Stack? Stack is louder, bolder, more gaudy.
Yeah, for
Smoke is someone that's more subtle. He has a calmer demeanor. He doesn't have to, you see him, you don't have to hear him. You feel him before you hear him.
Yeah, exactly, because it's definitely like a calm demeanor, but I would say it's more like a cold demeanor, because like he didn't say shit. He just said, "Oh, you buy my."
Yeah. And even with the outfits too, like Stacks is like, they're both dressed well, but Stack is
even the
flashier.
persona. He's just like got the Irishman thing going on. It's like the hardworking, like hard hat Irish. And then the Italian was like a little bit more flamboyant.
Because it's flashier, yeah. And I think even in the movie he had grills and everything. Like, it was just like the gaudy flashiness of his look versus Smoke is a lot more subtle. Which I think even culturally too, if you're talking about their respective gangs are a part of, Italian attire is flashier versus Irish attire is a lot more subtle. So it plays into like each side they were on as well.
I think it's time for cornbread. So yeah, even the way that the like cornbread was approached,
he didn't deserve anything he went through.
Nothing he went through, and that's the thing, cause like I identify with cornbread as a little bit, cause like he a hardworking black man. He ain't trying to get into no bullshit. He's just like he literally was outside all day up until the point they pulled up on him. And you know, he literally just trying to make his quota for the day. So he's like, yo, I'm trying to go home, whatever. And it's like, he is a symbol of how brothers just get caught up in needing money and this other shit. And they get the soul sucked out of him.
Yep.
You know, he wants to be there for his community and do all this other stuff. But like,
all money's not good money though.
Literally.
And that's, you saw that.
And when you need money, you don't necessarily have a choice. Like survival and security play they play a role in your thinking when you're in those situations. So it's just like he was a victim of survival.
Yes.
And that's why he was in there.
Yes, I think that it's really
R.I.P. Cornbread, nigga. The name black as fuck. I love it.
And also it's just like they just kept calling him Big the whole time too. It was like, okay, we get it, but it was just very black of just like every other sentence related to him would just call him big ass something.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, okay. But
we do be on that though.
But it's like, okay, like he's called cornbread for a reason.
For real.
I think it's just an example of desperation at play in relation to poverty, where he was just trying to do right by his family. I mean, his wife didn't even know how he was going to get money. She was just like, go. Immediately and was like, okay, go make the money.
Literally.
And he was trying to be an honest man, but he was like, this is just poverty at play. I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do. And then you get sucked into things that aren't even like related to you.
Not at all.
So I feel like, no, he didn't deserve anything that happened to him. He was just trying to be a man, supporting his family. The next thing you know, now he couldn't even go use the bathroom in the woods.
Literally. And
that's all he wanted to do.
He kept walking. I said, bro, why are you walking so far? Why are you walking so far? Stay over there. I said, oh shit. Yeah. He going too far.
Went way too far.
And then I think one of the like comedic parts of it was like he already like kind of eerie because like he peeing and like he hears something and the vampire goes, hey, is that cornbread?
Yeah.
I was like,
I feel like there's more to pick apart when it comes to cornbread. And it's like, you know, on the surface it seems like he's like a character that's just a casualty. But like we get a bit of like context to who he is. Although it's very brief. I mean, I said earlier, like I feel like the story overall was very rushed, but we got enough to like have a connection.
That's where I was like, I identify with him because like other people, I'm like, I kind of get it. You know, they kind of have a backstory, but like we literally saw him from like,
especially him being a side character.
Yeah,
like we know more about him than a lot of characters. Like Delta Slim, we know like we get the glimpse of like, you know, he's telling the story about you know, how he knew everyone that was a prisoner as they were driving past. We get the story of how we get that lynching story.
Yep.
And then we know that he works consistently at another juke joint. But we don't get, I'm sure I'm missing a couple other things about him.
But yeah, that's like, basically who he is.
Yeah. We know he's an older alcoholic that's there to like do his job, make his money, and drink his beer that he's not familiar with.
Yeah.
With cornbread, like, it's established. A feeling is established. We know he has a pregnant wife at home.
Right.
He didn't even want to be.
She ain't even at home. Her ass at work.
Yeah. We know, you know, he didn't want to be there. Now, you know, there's going to be the mystery for his wife of like what happened. We built up feeling for this character that's a side character. Yeah. And I'm like, so I feel like there's more to pick apart there. But yeah, he didn't deserve anything he went through.
I swear.
He was just trying to support his family.
You know who did deserve what they went through?
Who?
Grace Chow. Because yeah, that's one of the biggest things of why you came to the theme of the theme of we need to start gatekeeping, stop letting everybody in, because you know, you did mention it multiple times that the people who are allies are the ones who were not, like, the space wasn't forward. They was the demise of the space. Between Mary and Grace, as soon as, like, she saw that Remick was speaking her language, and then, like, her family was under attack, and she was like, oh yeah, fuck all this. She's like, oh yeah, y'all come up in here, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, literally giving everybody the invitation to just, like, destroy, like, the black community and stuff like that. And I'm like,
and it was so bad. Like, you're literally, her mouth was being covered. Like, that's how bad they were trying to protect her. And at that point, personally,
push her out of there.
Exactly. I would have. You got it. Go ahead.
For real.
Because what? And then it's like, it can be argued like, oh, she was worrying about her daughter because they were threatening like they'd go.
She ain't the only one with kids.
But exactly, and also like all those people have families that they were supposed to be going home to, and also I'm like, if she would have waited maybe like an hour longer, she would have gone home. It was clearly a manipulation.
If they literally could have waited to sunrise, everybody would have been good.
And it's like, now you know, I would have just like, I mean, easier said than done, but I'm gonna make a way. If I know that there are vampires in town, I'm closing up shop. I'm leaving. What do you mean? I'm spending that whole time during daylight and I'm leaving. Because why would I stay in this town and I know it's infested with vampires, even if I couldn't defeat them in that? Because they're gonna come back tomorrow. Literally. They're gonna keep coming back. I'm leaving. You could have gone home. It was better for you to let them in, kill your husband, and be that your only kill, sacrifice everyone, and leave your daughter an orphan.
Yep. Because
they didn't do what you wanted in that moment. It doesn't make sense.
She was thinking we need somebody to run the store.
Well, she's got to run 2 stores now.
She was built for it. You know?
I guess. Well, they could have each ran a store, and she ruined that plan. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that Grace definitely deserved what she got. I don't feel bad for her at all. I feel the worst for Stack. I feel like Stack got the worst deal because if you're looking at it, Smoke got to go out respectfully, and he got reunited with his family, which is all he wanted. Sammy made his choice of, like, he left his town. He said he wants to go to Chicago. He went to Chicago and was a successful artist. That's all he wanted. So I
was also going to mention. So an Easter egg that I definitely missed. You probably missed it too. The date that they go back on Chicago is the date that Candyman is released.
Oh.
And Candyman takes place
in Chicago.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So definitely like
I gotta sift through that.
Yeah, I said, what the fuck? Yeah, so
okay.
Definitely that like historic like nod to like other black horror films.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's a nice touch. I was gonna
Bitch, we back.
I forgot my original. Like who got the worst in the characters. But before I dive into that, was it really that deep to name? What was it? The band Pearlie? Like, you just met that lady. And that lady had a whole husband and everything. Like,
look, don't get me started about how the main women there were supposed to be with their husbands,
and then ruined everything. Like.
Yeah, so between that and I'm like, bruh.
Mary never went back home. Her husband's like, I don't know what happened. She was going to go bury her mom and never came back. Why wasn't he there for the funeral? So, never came back. Perline, her husband, who knows who he was, but she never came back.
Yeah, was he a preacher or something else like that? Or?
I think that Sammy said he had seen her in church or something.
Okay.
I don't know if we got much context there, but she just never came back home. Cornbread's wife was like, go make that money. Cornbread never came back home.
Nobody came back home.
Like, nobody came back home. So...
I'm going to say for Sammy, that was the best taste he ever had. Boy got a taste. He named a band after, 50, 60 years later?
Like I want to know, like, how soon after, like, it had to have been immediately, like, he named the band up. He, like, never changed. Like, you know, bands will go through times where they change their name and swap out members. He was like, nah, this is it.
Oh, that's all. This is it.
Like, I feel like that's weird, because also, you barely knew that lady. All of that, she did her moment of singing on the stage. You saw her, like, you had a couple hours of interaction, which also, like, goes to show, like, how young he was. But I'm like, was it that serious? Like, was it that serious?
She walked in the Mississippi heat for him. That's what I got to say.
But, no, okay, so go back to, like, the characters who I felt like had it the worst. You know, Smoke had a happy ending. He was reunited with his family. He had his baby. Like, that's out. And then he killed a bunch of people on his way out.
Oh, yeah, he killed the whole clan.
And then on top of it, he knew his brother was alive. Granted, it wasn't in the way he wanted, but he died knowing His brother's alive. He's gonna continue on, and that's what he's gonna do. He made peace too with even like, sorry I couldn't protect you, that moment that they had.
Yeah.
Stack did not get that. He doesn't get to live with his brother anymore.
Literally.
He doesn't.
As far as twins too, that's a huge thing. Because like siblings, yeah, we all hate to lose our sibling. But as a twin, y'all always like
and
y'all
how
together.
close they were.
You literally together your whole life.
Like, with that being said, like he can't even die. Like he can't even die and be reunited with him.
Yeah.
He can't die, period. But even if he does, they said his soul, he doesn't have his soul anymore.
Yeah.
So they won't be connected anymore because he won't be able to pass on in the same way. He'll be in some form of purgatory, if anything. So he lost the ability to have contact with his brother anymore. All his family's dead because, you know, so much time has gone by. Sammy's almost dead.
Yeah.
That was his last, like, remaining family, which is probably why he, like, said, hey, do you want to be turned? Because that's his last connection to his roots.
Yeah.
He's losing it. And also, the woman he said, get out of here, she turned him. Was stuck with her because that's the only one that understands, like, this experience and has that history with you. And say, for instance, like, you know, Stack was like, we can't be together as an interracial couple in this time, right? And he's like, I'm letting you go. I am, like, setting up your marriage so that you're with a white husband, you're gonna have a great life. Like, okay, he loved her enough to let her go. So let it be what it is. But Mary just couldn't let go. So now he's stuck in an eternity of, like, being with someone who forced an outcome on him.
Yeah.
That he had no decision making in. And everything that he knows is gone. But everything he has left that he knows he may even resent, but he's, like, stuck with that. So I feel like he has the worst ending because what he wanted was his family. And now he doesn't have his family. He has, like, second best. And she's forced family. Because she mentioned too, like, Annie obviously mentioned, you know, we're family at the door. But, like, she's, like, forced family now. Just like she was forced into the spaces. Everything she's doing is, like, taking her away.
And that was definitely a thing that I kind of noted too, was that, like, she always tried to say she was part of the community, and it was always like, Other white people was like, oh, like, well, how come she's in there? Like, oh, no, she's family. Like, you know, it's just like, again, we protect people that are, like, with us and, like, part of our community, but we don't get that same type of protection.
Yeah. Because, like, they accepted, like, obviously, they one drop ruled it with her, but also she was black by experience, by, like, growing up with them, so they offered that level of protection. But, like, we see by how she operates in the world, she could be black by upbringing with growing up, but she operates her privilege in the world.
Facts.
Even if, like, for instance, she said that she didn't want to, like, marry white and everything like that.
That was the choice. You had an opportunity to do that. Like, you can't do that.
But also, it's like, it's not like she turned down the opportunity either. Like, the marriage was set up for her, and I get it. Like, women didn't have, like, the same amount of rights and things like that. But, like, you definitely were living in your privilege. Like, it didn't seem like you were living too hard.
No, facts.
Like, you were fine. So, you know, I feel like Stack got the worst of it because he has no connection to anything. And he's stuck in an existence where he's going to live forever with the memory of his brother. And also, they're identical twins. So every time he looks in the mirror, it's like seeing his brother. Yeah. So it's like constantly being haunted by that for eternity.
And I was just thinking about, too, like, when, like, they visited Sammy, I would assume that they went to the show and they were at the show. So it's just like, what did he feel during that too? Because, like, you don't get the same effect. Because, like, now you a vampire, like, you watching from a remix side where, like, you know, you were experiencing, like, the culture come alive in the community. Because, like, that's what they want. They want to bring the community together. They want black people to come together and, like, experience that. So, like, Sammy performed first time, they felt that. So now, like, when he's watching perform, but he's on the other side, it's like,
does he have that same level of connection?
I mean, he definitely don't, but it's just like, how does he feel about it too? Because, like you said, he's already stuck in, like, this world with, like,
I think he touches on it, saying, like, he liked the real stuff or something like that, and, like, the original stuff, like, something like that, where he liked that connection because that felt familiar to the original stuff, like, that Sammy was making, because it was raw, it was authentic, like, he knows that, like, that's what he knows. When he was in that, the most, like, sinful place, which was the juke joint in comparison, he still was able to make that connection to ancestors. I think, if anything, it was I mean, it was him deciding, like, he carved out his own path. He spent the whole movie thinking that his guitar was associated with someone else.
Literally.
So I think that he leaned into the family aspect and the cultural aspect. I think that was his decision.
Yeah.
It wasn't him selling his soul. It was him making a definitive choice.
Yeah, and I think that like that definitive choice and like selling your soul is kind of like the same context, but like the selling the soul is like it's negative as a church thing.
Yeah.
But like I'm using it as like a positive thing because like what's not positive?
I think it's just he went his own way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He went his own way because he actually found that spirituality and that connection he was looking for because like
he realized that it's in him. It doesn't have to be in the institution.
exactly. And like he saw it and he was his own preacher, you know, where he had his own congregation and stuff like that. So it's just like if you've seen that connection, you've seen the spirituality and music literally saved your life, you know, it's like.
And you've also seen that there are vampires, there are things that are above you and this didn't
Right.
save you. I would have been like, I'm gonna head out too.
Listen, like Pops, I just tried to do the Lord's Prayer in the moment of like battle. This motherfucker finished it for me, you know. But thank God I had my guitar that was like made of silver that I like, you know, hit him in the head with.
A better way of putting it is like analyzing the relationships. He and Mary versus Smoke and Annie. You know, and it's obviously it's open to interpretation, but I feel like their relationship is hollow. I think that
whose relationship?
Stack and Mary.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like you can tell that there is a level of knowing and understanding between Smoke and Annie that this man disappeared for 7 years and you still put something on him for his protection. And then he came back, you guys picked up where you left off because it's like you knew what kind of man he was. And I'm not like saying like go out and do that. I'm just saying like, let that man work for 7 years. No, I'm not saying that. But like there was that ability to authentically see each other.
Yeah.
You can tell. And even with it being such a short exposure to their relationship, we know like how they care for each other.
Right, they had real deep bonds.
Exactly. Versus when we see Mary and Stack, most of the things that Mary says to him are sexually based.
Yeah, for real.
She I mean, they each respectively say their names, but she's primarily addressing him as Stack. Like as the persona. It's a separation of like who is the person. So I feel like it's like, you know, their relationship is very hollow, and obviously like Annie loved Smoke enough to protect him but still let him go and knew he was going to come back because that's the bond they had, versus Mary was like, you don't get a choice, you're gonna be with me regardless. You're gonna be what I want you to be on top of
You're gonna be with me regardless, also on top of me like already having a husband and his whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
but I still want what I want. They got to the point where they lived in a world where interracial relationships were open and acceptable. And I still feel like that was them hollow and not able to like have that connection, even with all those years that had passed.
yeah.
And I feel like too, you still get that freedom finally, but then you're stuck to like moving around at night.
Yeah.
You can't even enjoy your relationship.
Yeah, and I think that's another dynamic to kind of think about is that like their afterlives together too. I don't know if it's like speaks to the woman, the spirituality, the level of peace or like understanding, but she wanted to go out with integrity. She had values and you know, whatever it may be, her moral compass and spirituality was on point to she was at peace with her death and knowing that like if it goes this way then like that's not who I am. Don't make me suffer, and just like put in that responsibility, you know, and somebody that you truly care and like that you want to, that cares about you equally. So you know, like we want somebody to really like do for us the way you want to, and she was like, yo, like we talked about this, like do it for me. And, like the way he had to like kill her off and the way that he was dying and was kind of fighting it, she was there to comfort him again and just be like, yo, like you good, like I see you, like we're here, this is what we wanted, and like we already knew this was gonna happen, like we always wanted to be there, now we're together, versus like, you know, just like how you're talking about, like Annie the whole time was like, nah, you're gonna be with me. Now you're gonna be with me. Oh, I ain't leaving. Oh, like now I'm taking you to afterlife with me. Now I got you forever.
Yeah, it's two different forms of eternity. And I think that one is peaceful and one is hollow. Like they
or chaos.
Yes, because I was gonna say like being able to transition into an afterlife that is filled with peace is a blessing. It's viewed as a blessing. Like going to heaven is like,
and they had a baby, which is like a symbol of like new beginnings and like
exactly.
ooh.
And there's like purity.
And then when they met Sammy, he was old as hell.
Yes, and he was almost at the end of his life too.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And I think that, you know,
okay,
a lot of the times, big brain things. A lot of people would view having to roam the earth for eternity as a punishment. I mean, think about all the things that happen on the planet and the sadness. And again, you're going through experiences where everything you know, like all the people, everything you know is changing, but all the people you know are gone.
That's the biggest thing too, because like you would love to be like, oh, wish I had 10 more years, or whatever. But it's like, no, you want 10 more years with the people, with your surroundings, and you got to live like whatever. It's like, for what? You can't do the things you want to do. You're not with the people you want to do them with. So like
that, it's a form of like he's in a form of purgatory.
Yeah.
So it's like that is a punishment. I think from certain religious perspectives, I think going into a form of purgatory is like that version of hell.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why I feel like Stat got the worst. Like that man didn't ask for any of that. And now he's stuck without anything. And his last known living relative that he was close to is about to die. And he's stuck with this woman that took her away. And was like, you're going to be with me regardless. Even though she had a whole man in another state.
The biggest takeaway from like every aspect of the movie is basically just saying that like for that night, like for just a few hours, we were free. You know, so speaking of like slavery, speaking of all the injustices, the things that like, I always talk about like, them not having ownership was their downfall. So if they would have had a grocery store and like whatever, like money to put up or whatever, other people to share with, they wouldn't have had to rely on anybody else, and they could have just like been successful.
Still goes to say though that like even if you're doing it the right way, it was doomed from the start because they didn't want you to have it.
Exactly.
So just like when it comes to like Black Wall Street, we were doing it the right way, but white people didn't think we were supposed to have it, so they came and burned it all down.
Exactly.
So it's the same concept.
Yeah, and I think that was, you know, again alluded to, or just like literally in the movie where they was like, oh yeah, do whatever y'all want you to do, and like whole time knowing that they gonna come back the next day and just like burn it down.
So they were still gonna come back regardless. Now, granted, and it shows too, like, okay, say they would have done it the right way and the vampires never came. The Klan was still coming, and they still forgot the guns in the car. And they wouldn't have known about the Klan coming if the vampires didn't come. That was the tip-off, because the guy vampire was the nephew. So either way, they were never going to have what they wanted to have. It would have been them being blindsided if they would have stayed there all night. It would have been them being blindsided and having it taken from them, or the supernatural thing coming in and still coming and taking it from them. So they were, it failed before it even got a chance to start, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common theme with a lot of the things that we try to do as far as like society, community, and stuff like that. Black Panther Party movement, civil rights movement, stuff like that, where it's like, damn, like as soon as we get momentum started, y'all don't want us to have it anyway, so y'all gonna take it from us. And
it's just finding ways of infiltrating, be it like outright violence against it, be rewriting laws and creating barriers, being infiltration and turning people against you. If it's something where it's like you're deemed of like you're not supposed to have it, okay, you bypass this way, but there's still 1,000,001 other ways. It's like the intent is to destroy. So it's like if that's the plan, then you weren't going to succeed. So the plan would just change.
And I think they knew that all along, which was the primary reason of them coming back to Mississippi, because gang tensions are like whatever they got into Chicago. Chicago is just Mississippi with tall buildings, you know, so we might as well be in bed with the devil that we know and stuff. So they knew what the Klan member was going to do, and I think that's like a cool aspect, because I saw Ryan Coogler talk about it, which is that his upbringing on his aunts being twins and like some of his like close friends being twins, that deliberately, like our first shot of them, like they together, like standing next to the car and stuff, like we're just psychologically programmed to like see twins together and stuff like that. And he was saying that his friends like sit together. He's like, y'all always do that? And like, why y'all do that? He's like, oh, we do it for other people, because like we don't want to make other people observing us like nervous and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if we are uncomfortable or feel threatened, the first thing we'll do is split up, so that like, you know, kind of like those other person off. And when Smoke and Stack like start getting like questioned by that Klans dude who's selling the building, the first thing they do is like split up, and one dude like stays in front, other dude goes behind, where he's just kind of like looking and like he'll know where to go, and then one dude's behind him with the knife and shit, you know. So yeah, so I thought that was like a really cool aspect as far as that too, because yeah, they knew what was happening too, but they was just like, we don't give a fuck. Like we ain't these regular niggas that you used to like intimidating and doing all this shit. And
well, also to the granted, I don't know how likely they would be to go like to the deep south, but like the Italians and the Irish still would have also figured out like what happened too.
Yeah.
So they still, again, if they were bold enough to ride down there, they still it was so many like obstacles set up that it was like it gave like you guys were coming down there for a last hurrah,
right,
and
for
being
real,
where you were comfortable and what you were familiar with, and that's just what it was,
literally.
And other people just so happen to be casualties within it. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you know, justice for Stack.
Facts, justice for Stack. One other thing I was gonna say about it, I didn't fact check it because I kind of like the possibility and I didn't want to be like let down, but they were saying that this movie and partially why like we want more and that they kind of like time jumped was because there might be like a Sinners type of like universe. So like we saw them in like 1930s, but then like we also might get a chance to see them like in the 90s and stuff like that. And
how do we see them?
So I would assume that it would just like go along with different themes as far as like who are the vampires and who are assimilating like the culture and stuff like that, because when we get in the 90s, I don't necessarily know who's the oppressor or whatever. It might kind of jump.
Well, we had I think, I don't know if it was 92 per se, but like early 90s, for instance, you have like Rodney King. Yeah. Like it was police brutality. Yeah, that's dope. Well, that's not dope. You know, but I said, but it's the connection was dope. The connection, yeah. Exactly. the event, no, not at all. So like specifically that, like they could literally be the vampires trying to like take away from the culture, and like that specific thing, like using police as a medium, like I think that's brilliant. You know what I mean? And like that would literally play into like how you could like jump and do that and really have people that are ignorant and also very intentional about trying to rip apart the culture. So I feel like I would imagine though, in order to set that tone, I feel like we would have to get a prequel first, no? Because it's like, you know, there's so many open ends. I think people want to see more of them being twins too.
Very true.
Before we see, and also like understand, like character background before we see Stack navigating like instances by himself. So
yeah, I think the way that they have it is like it would have to be like a prequel set in like Mississippi before they go to Chicago.
I agree.
Because we don't want to see that because we already kind of understand. But then
more so like upbringing and establishing relationships. I think their life up until like right before they left, we could get a sprinkle of them leaving. That's right. If there's anything like noteworthy, but like all of that is like what I want to know more about. Yeah. Hey, I would like to see Annie's background a little bit of like who put her on to that and what they kind of saw, because she knew it was coming. She's already been foretold that these things are out there and that it's coming. Didn't she say her family?
Yeah. Yeah. But I want to like
in practice, like how she was taught.
Yeah, exactly. And just like the things that she actually saw, like her family went through to be like you the one and like prepare your people and like other stuff like that.
Because she mentioned, because she thought that they were haints first, and she said she had seen it before, but she hadn't seen vampires before. So it's clear she's seen some things, but like to what extent?
Overall, I think Ryan Coogler really got something special with this. Super original, authentically black. A lot of people are really raving about how he portrayed the Chinese and just like the storytelling overall and the research he does and intentionality and Michael B. Jordan fucking going crazy with his role. And I don't know. I don't necessarily have anything really bad to say about it. It was like a beautiful film, for real.
I think so too. Because my critique is literally, I want to know more.
Yeah,
like, you didn't give me enough. That is my critique. It's not anything related to like themes or plot itself. Truly, it's just like, give me more. Literally. I think that's everyone's perspective. Everyone's like, give me more, because I feel like, you know, it's something fresh. It's a new idea. It's creative. Also, Black people love celebrating Black people.
Oh, yeah.
Even more so when it's something that good.
Oh, yeah.
And layered and thought provoking.
For real.
So it's like.
So we tell you if your shit is ass.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, it feels like such a. It's a good feeling to have something new to consume from a creative perspective, especially when I feel like we're getting the same thing over and over.
The land of remakes.
Yeah.
Swear.
Where it's like, we have enough of those to give us a fresh idea. And it being such a well executed fresh idea, I feel like I understand why people are seeing it like 2, 3, 4 times.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say that speaking of like remakes, I think she's head of costume design. She was originally working on the Blade movie. That's supposed to be coming out. I forget the gentleman's name. So it was like supposed to be taking over the series. But that got shelved. And she was, Ryan Coogler was like, yo, I'm doing this film. And she's like, crazy, because I've been studying wardrobe from like the 1920s, 1930s, and for vampires and shit. So like, literally just like, how that worked out was just like impeccable timing. So that definitely added to like the historical aspects.
Like, people are showing that we want quality, especially since I feel like we've been in such a creative drought in entertainment for so long. So we need fresh ideas. I feel like we're being shown that in film, but also even outside of film. I feel we talked about it where we're seeing it in music, and also ownership in music as well. Music. And people are tired of like TikTok singles instead of bodies of work. We're seeing it with, even more recently, the Met Gala happened, and it was fresh ideas. And so for people that did the thing well,
and it was fresh ideas from Black people, crazy.
And it also grossed more than any other Met has. They got 31 million.
What? They're capitalizing off Black creativity?
And then making more money, and it's flipping and made it even more successful. It's almost like there's going to be a follow-up equivalent.
No, literally.
It's like, we got it with the men, maybe women.
Right.
Notable times for female fashion. I feel like that's where it's going next.
Yeah.
But I feel like outside of that, like, and capitalizing on Black creativity, because that's insidious. But I feel like the opportunity.
Yeah.
For there to be space for fresh Black ideas and the welcoming of that is something that I feel like is great. And also, it's a great time to be Black.
Facts.
Oh, it's a great time to be Black. But from
facts.
the consuming perspective, great time to be Black.
Mind of her own. So, they come to you, right? And they're like, yo, your life is super dope. We want to make a movie out of it. Who are you casting to play you in your movie?
Who is playing me? Who could play me? I can't play myself.
I mean, if you want to.
Like, okay. Playing me, like
you've done some dope shit in your life, so we about to make a biopic on your movie. Who you want to, like, cast you? I mean, it can kind of be at any point in your life, because it's your movie and stuff, so. Yeah. But, yeah.
Who could play me?
I didn't have an answer, but I got an answer.
Now I'm nervous. I feel like, because I'm a young person still, so I don't know who could play me. But I feel like I would say, based on like similarities, probably I would say Storm Reid could probably play me.
Storm Reid? I'm not familiar with that.
She was the younger sister in Euphoria.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch Euphoria. Oh. That wasn't for my demographic.
Fair. That's valid.
What's her name?
Storm Reid.
Storm Reid. This first picture was not going to do it. I was going to put it up there. I was like, what is she doing? Oh, okay. I see it. And why you say Storm Reid?
I feel like
yeah, I can see it.
She's a great actress, but also I feel like I like casting that, like, you gotta at least somewhat look like the person. Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, like, I could do that.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Maria the Scientist.
Why?
I feel like y'all have like similar like cheek structure.
That's funny.
And like the smile situation.
That's hilarious. I've never gotten that before. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I can see it.
Like, let me just.
I was like, yep, forehead size on point. Yep.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Storm Reed and Mariah the Scientist.
Okay.
Those are two. Okay. Cool. Okay. So to flip it now, they like Lakyra. We can't do that movie. It's ass. Right?
My life.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. They said it's ass.
Okay.
So they're like, but we can cast you in any movie, any TV show you want to be in. So like past or present, what movie or TV show would you want to be a part of?
That's a good question. Movie or TV show? I've never thought about that. That's
what we do here on Real Recognize Real.
A movie or a TV show I would want to be in. Because I can tell you what I don't want.
What's that?
I know I would never want to be in a zombie movie, especially like when they can run.
Yeah.
No.
You get shot him and you like, that motherfucker get up to me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not surviving that. I already know. So
Bro.
Don't even put me in
She's
that.
saying, no, I'm out.
Yeah, like
I'm done playing.
I'm not gonna fight anymore. You got me here.
For real.
Like, but I would want to be in. I would say probably like the original Suspiria, only because again horror movie of course, but I think that it's shot so beautifully, and I feel like okay if I'm in it from like the perspective of like I'm an actress in it,
yeah.
I'm like this set goes crazy, but if I'm in it from the perspective of like this is I'm like transported into that world, I feel like I could beat it.
Yeah.
I feel like I got sense. Well, I wouldn't understand what they were talking about because it's like over in Europe, and I think it was like in Germany. I was German, but like I feel like I could.
Swear, you can get a general sense, get a vibe.
Yeah. Like I feel like in a good chunk of movies, I got enough. I would like to think.
Yeah.
I have enough sense to see the writing on the wall and be like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna head out.
Right.
If I'm transported directly into the world, but I'm saying like from a perspective of like, yes, this movie is beautiful.
Yeah.
And the costume design is really good. And I just want to take that all in. Like I love good set. So
that's real.
I would say that. I'd probably have a better answer if I had time to think on it more. But that's my first response.
Facts. Well, when we have you back, we'll definitely ask
me again? Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'll know now.
Big
Be
facts.
prepared. Okay.
It might change too. You never know.
Keep me on my toes. Okay.
Real. I think we've had a pretty good interview for real. Talked a lot about different horror movies, your upbringing, some fucking dope ass classics that you done brought me up to speed on, the different movies that we, getting into with this Black Renaissance of horror films between Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele, and some up and coming ones. Yeah, super dope, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad all the people out there are supporting and enjoying it. Like you said, it's just a really good time to be Black.
Always a good time to be Black.
Blacks. Yeah, my last question for you, because I know you're still anticipating it. So, Lakyra Clarke.
Oh, okay.
What is your message for the world?
My message for the world is do what feels good. I feel like it's that simple. As long as it's not harming people. Like, that should make it. But do what feels good.
Facts. Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful, the talented, the sophisticated, the horror enthusiast, Lakyra Clarke.
You doing all right? Look like you need to eat. Food in Little Rock ain't no good.
It ain't yours. You ain't got none of that gumbo here, do you?
Catfish sandwich?
Could you?
Coke.
You know, I tried making some of that gumbo.
Oh, you did? How'd it turn out?
Well,
I'm gonna fry you some first, okay? Stop it. Right.
Boil them greens, keep the fire, potatoes up.
What's wrong?
Yeah, my daddy wasn't around, but my uncle taught the word. Had him at Praise House. Baptist. He used to tell me, boy, you swimming in a sea of temptation. Look at the same spirit flow through these church folk, flowing through us with us your blues. They just flow in a different way. More honest way, you ask me. The blues wasn't forced on us at that religion. No. We brought this with us from home.
From the Delta?
Africa, preacher boy. Motherland. The way we do it is a little different from the way they do it, but it's sacred still. It's sacred and big. Don't let nobody tell you any different. Not your daddy, not your mama, not nobody else. I might call on you tonight. If I do, you gonna be ready?
I'm always ready, Slim.
She loves the way I'm preaching. She feeling in her soul. I said she loved the way I'm preaching. She feel it in her soul. When I get through preaching, she grabbed my collar and she pulled me close. I said she loved the way I'm preaching. She feel it in her soul. Wow. She loves the way I'm preaching. Feel it in her soul. When I get through preaching, she grabbed my collar and she pulled me close. I don't need no holy water. I'ma sip on something else instead. I don't need no holy water. I got something else to sip on instead. She got me standing in the pulpit all day. At night, I'm preaching in a gal's bed. Now watch at this, watch at this.
Benny,
Yo.
you're just a fucking goat too.